If you've watched my channel for a while, you've probably seen the video where I asked this question. Was I scammed when I bought my GTO? Well, that video took off. More than 54,000 people watched it, and hundreds of you shared your opinions. Some of you said I was scammed. Others said that I was to blame and that I was a fool for not looking closer before buying the car. Well, after reading every one of those comments, I realized something. Whether I was scammed or not isn't the real lesson. The real lesson is, what mistakes did I make that ended up costing me thousands of dollars? So I went back through all of the hours of my restoration, more than 3,000 of those. All of the receipts that I kept for the restoration, and the hundreds of videos and images that I captured during that 6 years to figure out exactly what mistakes I made and what they really cost me. So today I'm going to share those mistakes with you, and I hope that by learning from my mistakes, you will save some time, money, and frustration. The first mistake I made was not truly understanding the condition of the car that I was actually buying. Looking back, one of my biggest mistakes occurred before I even closed the deal on the car. And that was not fully understanding the car's true condition before I handed over my money. And unfortunately, it was one of those big mistakes that ended up costing me thousands of dollars. So let me explain. If I had been less eager to buy the car, had I made fewer assumptions about its condition and not relied so heavily on what the seller told me, and taken the time to more thoroughly examine all of the potential problem areas, I would have noticed all of the extreme rust, the deteriorating suspension and other components, and other safety issues that I didn't see during my kind of cursory evaluation of the car. So what did this mistake end up costing me? Well, in terms of time, it added about 1.5 years to the restoration. And the cost of the parts to make the repairs came to about $2,600. And then you also have to consider there's the additional acquisition cost for the car. I bought the car in 2008. At that time, the seller wanted about $12,000. Well, he wanted $12,000 for the car, and I ended up purchasing it for $10,500. And I'd mentioned this before. Externally, the car looked really solid. There wasn't any visible rust. There weren't any missing pieces, and there wasn't any body damage indicating that maybe it had been in a collision or anything like that. And it ran fairly well. So $10,500 seemed like a pretty good deal. In reality, however, the car was not really in that good a condition. And in reality, it was a number 5 condition car all day long. And this is something I only realized after I had started the restoration. So in retrospect, a number 5 condition 1965 base GTO in 2008 was worth only about $8,000, and that's on the high end. It ranged from about $5,000 to $8,000 if you look at the data. So that means I potentially overpaid about $2,500 for the car. And when you take that $2,500 of overpayment for the car, and considering the parts that I had to purchase, this mistake alone easily cost me about $5,100 and more than 1 year of my time. My second mistake was thinking I could reuse most of the parts that were on the car. This is one I think that most every restorer makes at some point during a restoration. And before I began the restoration on the GTO, I had the misguided thought that most of the parts on the car could be reused, saving me some money. I figured all it would take would be a little bit of cleanup, perhaps some light refurbishment, a little paint, and voila, good as new. Wrong. Boy, was I wrong. And like I mentioned before, the car looked pretty good on the surface, and it wasn't until I started the disassembly that I discovered virtually everything needed extensive work, and in many cases, outright replacement. I was able to reuse a number of parts, but there were quite a few, more than I anticipated, obviously, that I hadn't anticipated needing replacement. So you can chalk that up to my inexperience. Some of these areas included safety critical items like steering and suspension components. Basically items that you couldn't see without taking the car apart, like the bushings for the A-arms and the trailing arms for the rear axle. Another item, body mounts. These were so bad that in some cases there were metal-to-metal contact between the body and the chassis. Heater components and wire harnesses were another area. Virtually everything with the heater system was completely wrecked. Even the dash heater controls were completely shot. And the wire harnesses, quite honestly and quite frankly, they were an electrical fire waiting to happen. So those were really bad. Other items, like the interior, for instance, which looked pretty darn good on the surface, it was only after I got the seats removed from the car and was able to give them a really good look that I was able to understand their true condition, and it wasn't good. And if you're ever interested in what a 60-year-old seat looks like once you get the cover pulled off of it, that's what it looks like. It's as hard, it's crumbling into powder, it's just shot completely. I mean, structure of the seats, like the seat springs and stuff like that, were actually rusted and broken. So anyway, all of these issues I did not anticipate, and it cost me time and money, which I hadn't initially budgeted for. So altogether, all of those things cost me about a year of labor and about $6,500 of my budget. Rookie mistake on my part, big lesson learned, just one of many. The third mistake that I made was underestimating the cost to do the restoration. I knew that restoring the car wasn't going to be cheap, but I didn't realize how expensive all the little things become. You know, it's easy to budget for the big things like an engine rebuild, for paint, for upholstery, those kind of things. But what I didn't consider were the multitude of other purchases that happen in between all of those big things. Things like hardware and fasteners, special tools, shop supplies, you know, adhesives, cleaning supplies, and all that kind of stuff. And one of the biggest that I hadn't considered up front was the cost of shipping parts. That list never ends. Individually, maybe on the surface, they don't seem like much, but collectively, they do add up very, very quickly. And in my case, the miscellaneous small parts and supplies added up to about $1,500, plus another $1,500 for tools that I hadn't anticipated that I needed to do this restoration. So the lesson learned here is pretty simple. Add at least 5% to your budget to cover all of the small or unexpected things that always come up in a restoration. And if you're keeping score here as far as where we're at in terms of time and money, after these three mistakes, it brings us up to a total of about $14,600 of cost, and about 2.5 years added to the restoration time just for these first three mistakes. My fourth mistake was thinking I could finish the restoration much faster than what it really ended up taking. When I started the restoration, I honestly thought I could be driving the car within a couple of years. I wasn't planning to work on the car full time, but even so, I thought, 2 years is a pretty reasonable time estimate. I couldn't have been more wrong. Every project that I worked on uncovered yet another project that needed attention. I'd fix one problem and I'd find 2 or 3 more. And so with that, weeks became months and months became years. Looking back, however, the restoration didn't take longer because I worked slowly. It took longer because I didn't anticipate potential problems. And I refused to ignore the problems once I found them. And once I had something apart, I wanted to fix it correctly. And that takes time. I estimated initially that it would take 2 years to do the restoration. And in the end, it took me 6. All right, last but certainly not least, my fifth mistake was not taking more time and care when doing the bodywork. If you've ever painted a car, you already know where this is going. Painting isn't the hard part. Bodywork is. Frankly, there were times when I wanted to move faster. I wanted to get color on the car. I wanted to see progress. But every little imperfection that gets buried under the primer shows up after the color is on the car. Every shortcut becomes visible. And case in point, I didn't use a guide coat after I primed the car. Big mistake. Had I done this one simple step, I would have seen all of the imperfections in my bodywork before the base and clear went on the car. That mistake cost me time and money because I had to sand down the freshly painted car, fix all of the bodywork issues, and then respray the base and clear. That was a pretty hard lesson to learn. Bodywork rewards patience, not speed. And being more patient would have saved me more than $400 in materials and at least 3 months worth of labor. As you can see, these things add up fast, both in terms of time and budget. When I started restoring this GTO, I thought I was just restoring a car. But looking back, I was really gaining a valuable lesson. Every mistake I made taught me something. Some lessons were expensive, some were frustrating. But every one of them made this car better, and they made me a better restorer in the process. If you're thinking about buying a classic car, don't let this video scare you away. Just go into it with realistic expectations. Inspect the car thoroughly. Assume you'll spend more than you had planned. Assume it will take longer than you had hoped. And when you do the work, do it once and do it right. Because when you finally turn the key and take that first drive, every late night in the garage is worth it. If you've restored a classic car yourself, I'd love to hear about your experiences and the biggest mistake you made. Leave us a comment in the comments below. Sharing your experience might help someone save them a lot of time and money. And if you haven't seen the original video, Was I Scammed Buying My Dream GTO? Check it out next. It's the perfect companion to this one because it tells the story of how this restoration began. Thanks for watching.